Hello and welcome to the Project Real Love YouTube channel. My name is Joy, but I'm also known as Pink Girl Teaches. Now, I know a lot of people always ask me, well, Joy, what exactly does that mean? How did you come up with Pink Girl Teaches? There is a whole story behind it, and I'll save that for another time. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself so we can kind of get to know each other a little bit before I dive into tonight's discussion. So, I am a certified life and relationship coach. I am an advocate for sexual assault as well as narcissistic abuse. Why? Because those are things that I did encounter, and I have gone from, I've gone from moving in shame to now, sharing my story and helping other people move from pain to purpose and just helping them overcome. I just kind of want to be a bridge, if you will, to help people in their journey from pain and from shame and just moving into wholesomeness. So I do focus on sexual assault and narcissistic abuse. And I'm a published author. I do have two books out. The first one is Beyond the Mask, where I get into my story with what it looked like for me to recover from the long-term effects of childhood sexual assault. Like, it was a journey and a half. And if the mere fact that I'm alive and I'm here is a testimony all by itself. I know sometimes you hear people say that I should be dead and in the grave, but really, in all honesty, that's where I should be. Like, I should be gone out of here. So my journey, it hasn't been easy, but it's so well worth it. And when you come out of that kind of adversity and you find purpose in it, you can almost say, in fact, you don't almost, but you can say, like, you know what, it was worth it. Every bit of torment that you would experience along the way, it's amazing how it can just, it changes the trajectory of your life or the path that you thought you were on. But now meaning and purpose come out of a very horrible situation. The second book was Up and Down Life in the Diaspora, which was a collaboration with other authors. I just have a chapter, and pretty much in that chapter, I talked about, I guess it was almost in some way a sequel from Beyond the Mask, just from how I would try to run away from the pain of my childhood by, just being avoidant of situations, people, locations. But it really just kind of puts the cherry on the cake, if you will. So, yes, certified life and relationship coach, a published author, sexual assault and narcissistic abuse advocate, and I am a podcaster. So, I have been podcasting since 2015, January of 2015, but I've kind of changed my platform most recently within the last few weeks, actually. And so now I podcast with a different host, a different platform, and the podcast is now available in multiple places: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find mine there, Project Real Love. And I focus on relationships. The podcast is actually broken down into segments. The first segment I call Let's Talk, where we feature whatever the discussion is for the day. Sometimes I do have a guest, other times it's just me. And then after that, I transition to the exit stage left portion, where I highlight the dangers of ignoring and dismissing red flags, and I give examples of red flags. The next segment of the podcast is love letters. So you see, for the last 2 years, I get a lot of questions in my inbox as well as my DM about, relationships and people looking for relational advice. And so I do my best to answer them. So I started pulling out one letter per podcast where I answer the question. And after that, I transitioned to exposing narcissism, where I just give a fact about narcissism. Could be anything, whatever's on my mind. And then I close off with pink thoughts, which is my final thoughts for that show. And I just share them. Right. So that's what I do. That's who I am. But for tonight, I wanted to talk to you about narcissism. What is it? What is it not? If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, what does that look like? How do you get out? When you're out, what do you do? Just the basic things about narcissism. So, yes, I too was in a relationship with a narcissist. And the crazy thing is, I had no clue about it until it was over. And once it was over, I mean, like, I sat back and I was just like, whoa, it felt like I had been hit with a truck. Like I had no clue as to what had just happened to me. Nothing made sense, and I needed answers. You see, the thing about a narcissist is, obviously we know that a narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is an actual condition. And for us to know that a person is truly a narcissist, they need to be diagnosed by a medical professional. Now, real quickly, like I said, I'm a certified life and relationship coach. I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist. I am not a psychiatrist. I'm none of those things. Like I say, I just take my experiences and what I learned and use those to help other people try to make sense of what they're going through. But don't take my advice or my suggestions over those in the medical profession, okay? So, like I was saying, afterwards, I was just so stunned and so speechless. I was wondering, like, okay, so what just happened to me? Because nothing made sense. And this is somebody who is somebody I cared about deeply. Like, I was in love with him. And then you find out that everything that you ever shared with this person is a lie. And that's what it is. Narcissists will lie to you from the beginning of the relationship. You may think that you're meeting somebody and that you're getting to know each other. You're going through the dating phase for a purpose, to build a future together. But the sad truth is they're lying. And one thing with them is that they're also serial cheaters. So while they're one way with you, trust and believe they're exactly that for somebody else. Now, what narcissists do is they mirror you. They present who they know that you are looking for in your life. So how does that happen? You share things about yourself with them and you talk and you engage in conversation. You're telling them the truth about what they want, and they are studying you as if it was, time to write a PhD, a dissertation or a thesis. They are studying you so that they can come out with flying colors. What they want to do is to mirror you so that you feel like, oh, wow, I found my soulmate. Like, this is a person I have been searching for my entire life. That is the idealization phase of the narcissistic cycle or abuse cycle. And that's where it starts with the love bombing. This stage is filled with a lot of affection. They will call you, they will text you nonstop, and you enjoy the attention, you enjoy the apparent affection and the love or whatever. And it's really everything that you wanted it to be. And sometimes it really feels like this is too good to be true. That's a red flag right there. When something feels too good to be true, step back and try to, analyze the situation and assess it for what it is. What narcissists also do is they move you throughout that love bombing stage. I mean, they rush the relationship, and that's intentional. They want you to remain overwhelmed with, these warm and fuzzy feelings so that they can secure you as a source of supply, so that they can lock you down, so that you are able to just say, oh, you know what, this is it for me. I'm happy and I'm staying right here in this relationship, kind of thing. And that's all intentional. That's not because they like you. I mean, they may like you because they picked you for particular reasons. May not be the reasons that you want them to, but they did. And so that's just what it is. Another thing that the narcissist will do is, okay, so we've talked about the idealization phase. Then they move you into the discard phase. This is where now the narcissist is comfortable enough believing that you have been secured by them. And so now you have proven that you're a good source of narcissistic supply. And this is where they just start devaluing you. They may become mean to you. They may just be blatantly disrespectful. They will ghost you. there are so many tactics that they employ. One of them is like a bait and ghost. They may get you to, engage in some type of argument with them, whether it's on the phone, text, social media. They would draw you into an argument, but then once your emotions get going, guess what? They hang up on you, or they just go offline, and they stay like that. They just stay gone for however long they decide that they don't want to be involved with you or bothered by you. What you need to know is that is strategic. They didn't do that just because. They did it because it's time for them to love bomb somebody else. You are never alone. They are pathological liars, and they are pathological cheaters. When a narcissist feels like they have used you for everything that you are worth, for everything that they can get from you. Now, remember, narcissistic supply can be anything depending on the person that you are dealing with, from attention, from affection, the ego stroking. Oh my, the ego stroking from, for some people, it's sex, some it's money, some it's even a place to stay, whatever it is, because you have your parasitic narcissists who use you. And, a lot of the times they have reasons why they claim they can't work. And that's just so that they can live off you. So, I mean, there are so many different types of narcissists and different, tactics that they use to take advantage of people. And I feel like it's so important that people do get to hear about narcissism and what it is and what it looks like, what that manipulation feels like, so that they can become aware. Because believe me, they are everywhere. And sometimes you may just, you may be lucky that you actually don't know what it's about or what it looks like, how it feels. Maybe because you cut a narcissist off. And so you saved yourself. You've been spared from that experience. But there are many people who have no clue as to what it is. And like I say, I didn't know I had no clue about what that was until I actually encountered the narcissist for myself. And I had to say, hey, hold up, what happened here? But like I say, the narcissist is a piece of work. And the only way that I would say that you can avoid being in a situation or a relationship by a narcissist is having boundaries. Your boundaries are never there to disrespect anybody. They're not there to slight anybody, but your boundaries are really in place to protect and to preserve who you currently are, as well as the person that you are becoming. That is it. When somebody disrespects you the first time, your first and your only response should be to respect yourself. When we keep allowing people to get away with little things, or we keep on ignoring red flags, we are actually giving them permission to do more and to continue to do more to us. And until you're able to actually stand up for yourself and say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not participating in this anymore. They will carry on, and it just gets worse. It gets worse. And protect yourself. Really, really respect your own boundaries. Nobody else on earth has to respect your boundaries. If you really want to know, the only one that has to respect those boundaries is you, because you are the one who enforces those boundaries. So don't ever play yourself. Don't ever shortchange yourself by thinking that, you know what, I'll just let this person slide. Because what? You don't want to be lonely? Because what? You want to say that you have somebody? Because what? You've invested time into this? Well, how about this? You have your whole life to live as you. Why don't you invest in yourself? Why don't you make sure that you are taking care of yourself the best way that you can, so that you can really enjoy this life that you have? Sometimes, it's like, it really takes my breath away when you think about, like, this is not a trial run. This is it. Once we pass on, that's it. We don't get to come back here on earth and redo this thing called life with hindsight being 2020. No. As you go through life and you learn things, apply those lessons and really take the value from there to help yourself improve, so that you don't stay in the same place. Look, anything that's stagnant is dead, and we're not dead. We're living, and we want to live our best lives. I know I do, and I'm pretty sure you do too. You want to excel in every area of your life, including your love life, and you don't have to settle. You don't have to settle. The crazy thing is that there's over 7 billion people on earth. That means that one person is treating you badly. Okay, maybe the few that you've encountered in your lifetime have treated you poorly, but guess what? There are, for every one of them, there's at least 5 other people who want you and who would value you. So don't disservice yourself by holding on to things that are dead. It's time for you to, step out in faith, step out in confidence, and really pursue the life that you want. I say this all the time. Self-love is a precursor to real love. And if you really want to enjoy the fullness of your life, if you really want to come into, into knowing and into walking into the heavenly version of who you are created to be, it starts with self-awareness and self-love. Now that's going to be a whole different discussion that I will save for another time. Today we're here to talk about the narcissist. Boundaries are the best thing that you can do for yourself. And, again, respect your boundaries. What else can I tell you about the narcissist? Oh boy, you cannot fix them, okay? Don't even think about it. No amount of love from you, no amount of giving, no amount of ego stroking and being there for them, and just giving yourself of yourself to them will ever repair who they are. Listen, they have this grandiose sense of self, but they're the complete opposite. They are a shell of a person. They are very sad, they're lonely, they're empty, and they hate themselves. They are attracted to you for your wonderful qualities, right? They may see things in you that you don't actually even see in yourself, but those are the very things that they love about you in the beginning of the relationship. But because of their pathological jealousy, that's right, they will hate you for those very qualities by the end of that relationship. So there's really nothing that you can do about it other than really, really, again, be solid in yourself. If you have broken up with a narcissist, understand that with a narcissist, will forever be an extension of who they are. It is difficult for them to let go of you as a source of supply. What do I mean? We're not together, we're not seeing each other, that kind of thing. Well, they like to keep a harem. They like to keep a collection of the people that they have been involved in. And this applies to not just men, but women too. They like to shelf people, right? So if I put you here on the shelf or they put you there on the shelf, that's just because you've been devalued or discarded and they are paying attention to somebody else in the present. So whenever it's suitable for them, whenever they need a new source of supply, whenever their supply is low, they'll come back to the shelf and see, who can I pick up today? Or, they will try. So one of the things that you have to do once you break free from the narcissist is, and when I say break free, sometimes it's them that discards you. Other times it's you who discards them. But whichever way it happens, no contact. Yes, I'm going to be the first to tell you that that is difficult, especially like when you are just finding everything out and the discard has happened and you are hurt and you want answers, you are looking for closures. Please, let's just talk about closure real quick. Do not think that you can approach the narcissist for closure. For them, it will actually turn into a bit of narcissistic supply because they see you looking for answers and they enjoy it. They feel like kings, they feel like queens, they feel like gods. That, look, I'm in control of this, and if I don't give her this answer, well, she's going to continue to think about me, and that makes them, it fuels them. Like, that's why I say they are diabolical. It actually fuels them. No, absolutely not. Do not go for closure from anybody outside of yourself. It's the gift that you give yourself. Sometimes I feel like what may work for closure is when you write unsent letters. Write as many as you need to. For some people, it's just one. For some other people, it's going to be a ongoing process. But write the letters so that you can get the closure that you need. But remember, no contact. Delete, block. Sometimes that means mutual friends, even family, have to go for now. until you are in a stronger place mentally, emotionally, even physically and spiritually to deal with, everything that follows from breaking free from a narcissist. Like I say, you're always going to be an extension to the narcissist. They will always feel like they have access to you. And until, and it just goes on. I don't know if I've heard of it going on for some people for 8 years. Like, for real, 8 years? That's a lot, but that's just what it is. So don't be discouraged though. Go no contact. And when you go no contact, what you have to do is actually be aware that they will start a smear campaign. They will drag your name through the dirt. Okay, I've been there. I'm going through it. They will drag your name through the dirt. They will talk about you. They will, they will do everything to play as though they're the victims when they will say you lied, you cheated, you stole, you are the fraud, they're hurt, they did everything to help you and you just walked all over them, you took advantage. Meanwhile, the truth is everything that they said you did, they did. They project everything. They project their feelings onto you. They project that self-love onto you. You don't have to accept any of those things. Remember, that's just how they feel. It has nothing to do with you. So if you are going through that, if you have dealt with it and you are confused and you're wondering, hey, what exactly, am I really this? No, you're not. That's just how they feel about themselves. And you do not have to accept that as your reality, because it is not. Now, sometimes, people do ask, well, hey, I think I have some narcissistic traits. Okay. We all do. We all do. That doesn't make you a narcissist. Just because you respond to the narcissist in a particular way. Let's say you end up yelling and screaming and acting somewhat irrational, but that's out of emotion. Okay, that's out of emotion, and you may be warranted in that situation. That does not make you a bad person, and that definitely does not make you them. So no, don't accept when they're trying to project their feelings and their emotions to you. Surround yourself, when you come out of that relationship, surround yourself with people who love you, people who want to see you do well and excel in life. Like, without my circle, without my inner circle, I don't know how I would have made it. Like, my girlfriends were, I mean, they are the best. We would have conference calls at 2 and 3 a.m. Now, what you have to understand about these two ladies is one of them is in the UK and the other one is in Canada. I'm here in Texas. So we have 3 different time zones. So where I might be going to bed, my friend in England is like getting, she's about to get up. And like I say, a lot of those calls happen like at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. my time. And I'm so grateful that, I did have people like that. Now, surround yourself with positive people, people who uplift you, people who will encourage and inspire you and just love you. Narcissistic, breaking up from a narcissistic relationship, or from that kind of relationship, is not like breaking up with, under normal circumstances, because you find out that they've been lying to you from the beginning, and there's so much confusion about, hey, what just happened, or just the level of deceit can leave you numb. Literally, like, I was numb for, I think, the first 4 days. Like, I had just no emotion. Like, I was like a walking zombie. And then after that, like the following few days after that, I was just like, oh boy, and I began to try to figure things out and just deal with my emotions at that time. But it's not the same as breaking up from another relationship. You're going to have to talk about it. Now, not everybody is going to want to hear it. So make sure that the ones that you talk to are part of your inner circle that will allow you to, to vent, to talk about, like, I just can't understand what happened, or how could I miss the signs? Don't blame yourself. They are master manipulators who have been doing this forever. Don't blame yourself, don't blame yourself at all. They go after intelligent people, because everything with a narcissist is about competition. They go after any and everybody. Don't blame yourself. That's such a big thing, because I did that a lot. I was like Joy, you are smarter than this. How could you fall for this? Didn't you see the signs? How could you ignore them? You know, don't do that to yourself. That is torture. And it happens, okay? It happened to me. It's happened to women who are smarter than me. It's happened to men and some of the, most smart people, most intelligent people, period. So don't blame yourself and don't beat yourself up. Just take the lessons and move on. There are so many online support groups that will talk about narcissism and will allow you to vent and just get everything that's inside of you out, because what's inside is toxic and it's got to go. So don't hold it in. Don't be ashamed. Don't be bent out of shape about this. It happened. Okay. Let's chalk it up as experience and let's do better next time. Let's have good boundaries, solid boundaries. Let's reaffirm who we are daily. Hey, I am enough. I am lovable. I am worthy of love. Let's look at ourselves in a new light and let's protect who we are. You are not, you're not some cheap commodity that is just out there in the market for any and everybody. You're special. There is value attached to your name. You are a person of purpose, and no, not everybody deserves you, and that's okay. Yes, you're going to go through the motions of missing the narcissist. Absolutely. We miss the person that they said that they were. But remember, it was a big pretend game for them. They were not serious about anything with you from jump. Yeah, that's a lot, but listen, I'm living proof that you will get better. I'm living proof that you will move on in time. Eventually, you will, once you've done the work to heal and you've established healthy boundaries and you are now stronger mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially, because they do deplete some people's finances. But take your time. It's no rush. There is no time frame on how long you're going to grieve, and eventually love will come. Let it find you. You don't have to go after, you don't have to go out there and try to recreate love or chase it. Let it come to you. Let it be organic, and pay attention. The things that you know that you missed, in that previous relationship, be mindful of, and don't settle. Don't sell yourself short. But for today, I think I will end this video. Hopefully I will come on before too long to share a little more with you and dive into specific topics about narcissism, whether we are going to look at what are flying monkeys and how do they operate, or just like, what does what does the narcissist feel once you're discarded? Does the narcissist want you back? Listen, the narcissist doesn't want you back. Let me just say that real quickly. The narcissist never wants you back. They want what you have. They don't miss you. They miss the benefits that you come with. Let's not get this twisted, okay? They don't love you. A person who does not love themselves is incapable of loving another person. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot pour out of an empty vessel. And at the core, they do not love themselves. Okay, so everything that they have going on and how they pretend and how they act, yeah, I get it. It looks like they love themselves. It looks like they are full of themselves. That is an act. They do not love themselves. Therefore, they cannot love you. So get that out of your mind, okay? They love the benefits that you have, period. So know that, yes, they will try to come back into your life, but remember why. So go no contact. Here I go again. Go no contact and stay no contact. Do people break no contact? Yeah, we do. We are human, but go back to no contact. Okay. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do, click subscribe and even the notification button. You can press that. And also don't forget to check out the Project Real Love podcast. You can find me at Pink Girl Teaches on social media or at Project Real Love all over social media. If you have questions, don't be afraid, don't be ashamed, no matter what the question is. Listen, nothing is off topic, nothing is taboo. I feel like, let's have the difficult conversations so that we can learn from one another and grow together. I never one time professed to know everything. I really don't. And that's one thing that I really do love about doing the podcast, as well as, live videos with other people, because I end up in a position where I interview so many people and I am getting so much more information from them and I'm learning from them. So don't feel like there's anything that's a bit too much or taboo. No, I love a challenge, let's discuss it so that we can grow together. All right. So until next time, it's been great hanging out with you. Take care.